Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee and Chat with Hallee Bridgeman. I'm so happy you could join me. I have my cup of coffee, so I hope you have a cup of coffee or tea and you have a few minutes while we chat. So I'm coming to you from my home office in Fort Knox, Kentucky. And I'm kind of bummed because this week I was supposed to be going to Schaumburg, Illinois to speak to the American Christian Fiction Writers Chicago group. And I've spoken with them before. They're a great group. But also I was going to stay in Peoria and spend a couple days with Suzan Tisdale. And so I'm really bummed that that trip got canceled. And that's like one of the things like that bummed me out when everything started happening was, oh, I'm supposed to go visit Suzan. So anyway, so yesterday was Easter. We had a sunrise service on Fort Knox, so everyone came in cars, and so in front of the chapel they had set up like stage and coverings and microphones, and so then we tuned into like an FM radio station just like at a drive-in theater, and we could hear everything, and we just stayed in our cars, and like he said, if you want to say amen, honk your horns. And so it was really, really nice. What it did was remind us that there's a community here of believers that we haven't been able to like physically be around for over 4 weeks now. And I really needed that. And as I've seen friends' social media pictures of being there, it's like, oh, I was there too, and they were there with me, and we were there together, and that was like really, it was really uplifting. It was really something that I needed. So then I came home and made this huge leg of lamb that was so big that it wouldn't even like go in my roaster pan. Like I had to put it in the oven. And I was able to cut out, when we finished eating dinner, I was able to make like 7 1-pound bags of meat to put away for more meals. It was this amazing leg of lamb. Oh my gosh. And so our daughter Kaylee is here, and she has a black lab, and then we have our 2 dogs, which y'all have seen on my walks with them. So I had 3 dogs like really, really paying attention to every move I made with that leg of lamb last night. So I hate to tell them that the leg is all, Greg's going to cut the leg up with a circular saw for me, and I'm going to put the bones away too. But they were ready for me to just like hand it to the back. It was so fun. So, how are you? I see things, I see like little hints that people aren't doing very well. And, I know that the people who did jobs that like waitresses and bartenders and, teachers and, you know, those jobs that stopped. Well, I guess the teachers didn't stop. But, you know, furniture store people and clothing store sales clerks, I know that that's like financially devastating. I remember there was a time in my life, losing a week's pay would have crushed me. There was like no reserve. So losing at this point 4 weeks or more, I know it just is, it's hard to contemplate what that looks like later, like what's going to happen, how's that going to be. I was telling a friend it would be nice if everything could just reset, like all the financial things for the last month just like don't exist, like we stopped and then we'll pick it back up again. I wish there was a way to do that, but I know that there's not. I know that realistically there's not. But in Hallie's happy world, everything just stops and then picks back up. But how are you doing beyond financial? Like, how is your relationships within the people in your house going? Is being locked in, is it suffocating you, or is your family growing closer together? How are you and your spouse doing? Is it good to be with them all day, or is it not good to be with them all day? Greg and I have had, when he's home from work, because he travels to work every other week or every 2 weeks or whatever. So when he's home all day, and he works from home in his home office. And so we're used to the being together all day. The kids coming home from school, to me, was fine. Establishing a schedule with them and working with them has really worked. I haven't really been able to create too much, but I've had a lot of other things to do. And like, this is my week where I don't really have any more excuses, and now it's time to like sit down and see what I can do. But I think that initial emotional blocking of me being able to write is kind of not as prevalent. And so I'm hoping that proves that I can get back into it. Because I was able to plot out, at this point in the last couple of weeks, I've plotted 9 books. And I've written the first chapter of 3 of them. And so I know that that's there. I know the creativity exists. The question is, can I sit down and put it into my my day again? So Greg got me Dragon Speaking, so which is a complex program that will eventually learn my voice and the nuances of my voice. And so it comes like I have now, headphone, microphone, and I should be able to speak my books into a Word document or a Scrivener document or a text field or whatever. And we're hoping that helps me, because my hands are starting to hurt all the time. And so we're hoping that helps me have more stamina for writing for the day. Like, it's not that my hands are getting tired and I have to stop writing. And I also walk a lot. Like, I get up and I walk around our neighborhood and I walk the dogs. That's just something that I have always done. And, walking, the act of walking is something that turns on that part of your brain. And so we were wondering, if I plug this into my phone, can I walk and write at the same time? And if that's the case, then maybe getting a treadmill desk is the next step. Like, I have the desk that would go on top of a treadmill, but I don't have a treadmill to put it on. And so, do we want to do something like that? Especially if I can do it with this, then that would be something that would be really great. And so, those are the kind of things we're looking at to help get my production quantity back up to what it was 3 or 4 years ago. Because in the last 3 or 4 years, it's kind of like slid down. And I know a lot of it has to do with the physical stamina, like what my hands can take in a day. And so I'm really, really excited to kind of dig into doing it this way and see how everything changes, or if it stays the same. We'll see. It's not up to me. And I tell you, I'm looking at my face because I'm in a selfie mode. I almost put on makeup. I did. The last couple of times I've done this, I didn't have any makeup on. And yesterday I got dressed in a nice dress, a new dress. I took tags off it and put makeup on. And I normally dress like during the day. I'm not in pajamas or yoga pants or anything. I am that person who actually, even though I'm stay home, I put on a skirt and a blouse and, brush my hair, but I don't put on makeup. And that's the lazy side that comes out. And so, I thought, if I put on makeup, everyone will know that I only did it for the video, and that would look very silly. So I did it. And that's funny. So anyway, yeah, I'm curious to see what Dragon can do for me. And playing around with it, I did like a chapter, one of the chapters I wrote, I did with it. And it was really an interesting, like, I had to like kind of really concentrate on it, but it was like, I had no sleep that night. Like, I went to bed at midnight and got up at 2 or something, and I couldn't sleep and I knew I had to do this chapter. So around 4 in the morning, I come to my office and I'm like, actually, like, I had it on like this, right? And I'm leaned back in my chair like this, and I'm just talking like this, trying to think about like what the next thing is going to be, because I was so tired. But I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep because I had to get that chapter done. So that's the only experience I have with it at this point. But anyway, how are you? I would love to know. I would love to know you know, how you are emotionally and spiritually holding up. Our family, like I said, our family is doing wonderfully, and I'm so pleased with that, because you never know until you're in the situation what that looks like. And I'm just so thankful for the personalities that are in the house, and for the relationships that are here, and for the way that our children have adjusted to their fears and emotions during this time, because we had a lot of, Jonathan was very scared, and he feels better now because nothing really changed in the quality of his life. And so I think that as more things remain the same in the new same, the less scared he feels. And Scott is very angry, and he's angry that everything is different, but he doesn't like change. And so he's not angry about his circumstances. He's angry that they're not the same as they were 5 weeks ago. And so, and the longer that this is the normal, the less angry he will be, because this is what will be the same. And so, I think that their emotions are no longer overwhelming their functioning, and they're able to realize that this might be what is normal, but it's not this horribleness of this imagined apocalyptic normal. So, but I would love to know how your family's doing. I was able to put together a food bag for, someone contacted me on social media. They had a 74-year-old Jewish woman who's vegan and has breast cancer and had no food. And so this person is a friend of a friend, and the friend tagged me to see if I could like have any kind of insight into what to do. Well, I have like buckets of grain and beans, and so I just said I can put together a food bag, but nothing will be prepared. Like, it's going to have to be, she has to know how to cook it. And so I gave her a bunch of rice and beans and pastas and the elements to create different sauces, some fruits and vegetables, and like sweet potatoes and white potatoes and onions. I filled a paper bag full, and I loved having the opportunity to do that and to be able to do that. That like filled me up. And it occurred to me how much of my love language is acts of service, and that allowed me an opportunity to love with an act of service that didn't involve like the way, you know, inside my home, that was outside of my home. And that was obviously something that I've missed doing, because we've always been really hands-on, helping people and volunteering here and volunteering there and doing this here and doing that there. And I haven't had an opportunity to do that for several weeks. And so this was like simple, fill a bag of food, but it was still hands-on helping somebody. So anyway, that felt really good. So y'all, week 5, we got this. Schools are still in session. It's not summertime yet. We have Monday morning. I have to go check on the kids' school and see where they stand in their day. But in the meantime, y'all have a great week, and I will see you next week. God bless you.